up? What's up sa inyo mga ka-estudyante? Andito tayo ngayon sa ating vlog upang saan tayo ay magre-report tungkol sa value creation. Let's go!
Hi guys, my name is Gacho Palomo and I'm the one who will report the value creation. So what is value creation? Value creation happens when a business or organization uses its work and resources to create something of the value that is sold to a customer base. In turn, the business earns a profit for what it has created and the customers have want or need fulfilled. Every successful business creates something of value. The world is full of opportunities to make other people's lives better in some way. As a business person, our job is to identify things that people do not have enough of, and we will find a way to provide them. Without value creation, a business cannot exist. Well, the best businesses in the world are the ones that created the most value for other person. Some businesses thrive by providing little value to many people, and other focuses a lot of value to only few people. Regardless, the more value you create for other people, the better your business will be. Also, value creation is the primary aim of any business entity. Creating the value for customers helps sell products and services, while creating value for shareholders in the form of increase in stock price, ensure the future availability for investment capital to fund operation. From a financial perspective, value is said to be created when a business earns revenue or a return on capital that exceeds expenses or the cost of capital. But some analysts insist on a broader definition of value creation that can be considered separate from traditional financial measures. Traditional methods of assessing organizational performance are no longer adequate in today's economy. According to value-based management.net, stock price is less and less determined by earning or asset-based. Value creation in today's companies is increasingly represented in the intangible drivers like innovation, people, ideas, and brand. I'll say the last thing first is that when broadly defined, value creation is increasingly being recognized as a better management goal than strict financial measures of performance, many of which tend to praise cost cutting that produce short-term results ahead of investment that enhance long-term competitiveness and growth. As a result, some experts recommend making value creation the first priority for all employees and all companies' decisions. If you put value creation first in the right way, your managers will know where and how to grow. They will deploy capital better than your competitors, and they will develop more talent than your competition. Ken Favor explained in Macaron commentary, this will give you an enormous advantage in building your company's ability to achieve profitable and long-lasting growth.
Good day mga idolo, and today we are a vloggerist, and this vlog is like educational vlog, and stay put lang kayo at makinig sa aking mga ituturo. So let's see kung ano yung may inyong matutunan. Our topic for today is all about strategic positioning on strategy and structure of international business. Ano nga ba ang strategic positioning? Strategic positioning is when a company chooses one or two important key areas to concentrate on and excel in those areas, whereas focuses on how it will compete in the market. Main objective ng strategic positioning ay magkaroon o mag-create ng competitive advantage ang isang business. Ano nga ba ang benefits nitong strategy na to sa isang business? This is the benefits of applying this strategy. First, clearer view of the company's goal can be seen. Second, effective decision-making process. Third, the direction of a company can be established. And according kay Michael Porter, merong 3 types of strategy para ma-create ang competitive advantage. Ang 3 types of strategies to create competitive advantage ay ang mga cost leadership, differentiation, lastly, focus. Natin ang cost leadership. Ano nga ba ang cost leadership? Creating the lowest cost of producing product, service in the industry. And ang main objective ng strategy na to ay ang to be a leader of a market industry. Paano nga ba magiging effective ang cost leadership sa isang business? First, offering the lowest price, providing quality satisfied by the customer. Lastly, attract enough customers to be profitable. Ano naman ang benefits ng pag-i-implement ng isang cost leadership strategy? Ang benefits ng pag-i-implement ng cost leadership ay create barriers to enter the industry. This is because the new firm are discouraged to enter the industry and be competitive, and they will try to figure out the efficient way to lower the efficient cost. Next is efficient operation to save costs. It increases the efficient in the company's operation so that the company will good and making the most efficient operation in order to save cost. Tungo naman tayo sa pangalawang strategy para ma-create ng competitive advantage. Ito ay ang differentiation. Ano nga ba ang differentiation? Differentiation is creating high value for the people who willing to pay for a higher price. Paano na-achieve ng mga company ang strategy na ito? Company must make sure that they have high quality product. Next is effective strategy of sales and marketing. Sales strategy is the forms of gaining competitive advantage by focusing on the target market customer. Ano naman ang benefits ng strategy na to? Reduce competition. This competition can be reduced when the product of something is unique and no other competent follow. Tutungo na tayo sa pangatlong types of strategy para ma-create ng competitive advantage. Ito ang focus strategy. Ano ang focus strategy? Strategy increase the developing product or services for a niche market. Focus strategy, ano ang mga key to success para maabot natin or ma-success natin ang strategy na ito? Distinctive preferences, special requirements, unique needs. However, they need to decide whether to pursue cost leadership or differentiation. Focus strategy, meron naman siyang 2 types para ma-success or magawa natin ito ng tama. Ito ay ang cost focus and differentiation focus. Ito naman yung explanation ng dalawang types of focus strategy. Cost focus means emphasizing cost minimization within a focus market, whereas differentiation focus means pursuing strategy differentiation within a focus market. Lastly, ano naman ang benefits ng strategy na to sa isang business? Reduce cost, and they can increase the differentiation having a knowledge of customer traits. Guys, sana may natutunan kayo sa aking educational vlog, and sana mas marami pa tayong mapag-usapan or mapag-aralan ng mga topics. So hanggang sa muli, mga iidolo!
guys, welcome back to Flash TV, and for this vlog, I will be discussing all about value chain analysis. What is the value chain? Porter's definition includes all activities to design, produce, market, deliver, and support the product service. The value chain is concentrating on the activities starting with raw materials till the conversion into final goods or services. Two categories: primary activities, operations, distribution, sales, support activities, technology development, procurement, and human resources. So basically, value chain is used to describe all the business activity it takes to create a product from the start to finish. For example, the design, the production, the distribution, and so on. Kasi alam naman natin na may process yan. I-deliver yung raw material sa institution or the company, and ipoprocess nila yan sa production kung anong item yung gagawin dun sa raw materials. Then finished product is sales and i-distribute na nila sa mga buyer or the distribution. So value chain analysis gives businesses a visual model of these activities, allowing them to determine where they can reduce cost. Yon, gaya nga nang sabi ko kanina, inaalam nila yung sa value chain, inaalam nila yung magiging total cost, total value, and yung profit margin. So yung price dito is mahalaga talaga for the value chain para malaman nila kung magkano yung pumapasok at lumalabas dun sa mismong company, sa mismong item. Explanatory, alam naman natin na yung manufacturing base is may product na pinoproduce. And unlike sa service base is servisyo yung inaano nila, ino-offer nila sa tao or sa market, like ano ba, yung mga spa, consulting agencies, insurance agencies, ano pa ba, health, yung mga about sa health, alam natin servisyo yung inaano niyan. And yung both manufacturing and service base, yun nga, gaya ng sabi ko, nag-offer sila ng item, ng product, and also the service participants. In competitive advantage, sets your business apart from competitors. To develop an advantage, you'll need a clear idea of your target market. If you're an entrepreneur who's interested in clearly defining your business target audience and market, be sure to find the ideal niche market for launching or selling your product. So, yun nga, alam naman natin na when it comes to business, competition talaga yan. Kailangan yung foundation ng market segmentation natin is talagang ganun kapulido para alam talaga natin kung ano yung papasukin or tutumbukin nating negosyo, para at least alam natin and ma-measure natin yung pwedeng mangyari or maging problema dun sa sa mismong market na papasukin mo. So next is yung cost advantage. The goal of this strategy is to become the lowest cost provider in your industry or market. Companies who excel with low-cost strategy have extreme operational efficiency and use low-cost materials resources to reduce the overall price of their product or service. When it comes to cost advantage naman, alam naman natin na sa pagdating sa business, yung presyo is mahalaga. Kasi gaya nga nung kanina sinabi, competition, kailangan pababaan tayo or yung isa na pareho lang kayo ng pinoprovide na product or service. And yung pangatlo is differentiation advantage. And dito, when a business provides better products and services as its competitors. Using this strategy, you offer a unique or highly specialized product or service to gain a competitive advantage. The business needs to dedicate time and resources to innovation, research, and development. A successful differentiation differentiation strategy allows the business to set a premium price for its product or service. And good example nito is yung Starbucks and Apple. So, sinasabi lang naman dito sa differentiation advantage is kung sakaling tatayo ka ng business or tatayo ka ng isang company, mahalaga na mag-invest tayo sa research and development ng company na ito or ng business na ito para alam naman natin na nag-upgrade yun eh. Kailangan mo mag-upgrade every quarterly or every year. Ang best example niyan is yung Starbucks and Apple. Diba? Nakapag-set sila ng premium price for their product and their services. Saka yung brand nila is talagang established na, kaya nakapag-set sila ng price na gusto nila for dun sa ino-offer nilang product sa service. Value chain model. So, fishbone diagram. So, bakit nga ba natin ginagamit yung uri ng diagram na to, which is fishbone? Ginagamit ang fishbone para sa cause and effect. So, ginamit to ni Porter para malaman yung magiging output or the effect nung gagawin ng isang mismong firm or nung mismong system na ito. Yun. Types of firm activities. Primary activities, those that are involved in the creation, sale, and transfer of products including after sales service. Yun, gaya nga sabi ko kanina, nandyan sila inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, sales and marketing, and last yung service and support. And sa support activities naman, those that merely support the primary activities, gaya ng human resources, tech development, procurement. So, next na tayo. Primary activities. So, makikita natin naman dito sa diagram na to, yung sa value chain model na to, yung mga naka-highlight, yan yung primary activities. Primary activities, inbound logistics, concerned with receiving, storing, distributing inputs, for example, handling of raw materials, warehousing, inventory control. And operations, compromise the transformation of the inputs into the final product form. For example, production, assembly, and packaging. Outbound logistics involve the collecting, storing, and distributing the product to the buyers. Processing of orders, warehousing of finished goods, and number 4, marketing and sales. Identification of customer needs and generation of sales. For example, advertising, promotion, distribution. So yun, pag-distribute ng item, ng product. Number 5 is service. Involves how to maintain the value of the product after it is purchased. Support activities. So, support activities tayo. Una dyan is yung firm infrastructure. The activities such as organization, structure, control system, company culture are categorized under firm infrastructure. Second is human resource management. Involved in recruiting, hiring, training, development, and compensation. Third is technology development. These activities are intended to improve the product and the process can occur in many parts of the firm. Number 4 is procurement. Concerned with the task of purchasing inputs such as raw materials, equipment, and even labor. Use of value chain analysis. The sources of the competitive advantage of a firm can be seen from its discrete activities and how they interact with one another. The value chain is a tool for systematically examining the activities of a firm and how they interact with one another and affect each other, cost and performance. A firm gains a competitive advantage by performing these activities better or at lower cost than its competitors. Helps you to stay out of the no-profit zone or non-profit zone. Presents opportunities for integration. And last, aligns spending with value processes. Shout out kay Palomo.
Hi guys, I'm Boone Sabareza and may pag-uusapan tayo ngayon tungkol sa value chain versus supply chain at ang Porter's value chain framework. At may problema ako sa video guys, kaya naka-audio lang ako ngayon. Yan, simulan na natin yung value chain versus supply chain. Value chain versus supply chain. Ayon kay John Gold, ang supply chain ang proseso kung paano magiging isang produkto ang mga iba't ibang materials, at ang transportation logistics naman ang maghahatid nito sa mga tindahan. Ang value chain naman, binibigyan niya ng mga halagang produkto base sa product design, research development, and advertising and other marketing. Porter's value chain framework. Si Michael A. Porter was the first to introduce the concept of value chain. Porter was also developed the 5 forces model to show business where they rank in competition in the current marketplace. Discussed the value chain concept in his book, Competitive Advantage, Creating the Sustained Superior Performance. In this book, makikita natin yung value chain framework ni Michael E. Porter. And may dalawang element, ang primary activities and support activities. Under ng primary activities, yung inbound logistics, operation, outbound logistics, marketing, and sales and services. So support activities naman yung firm infrastructure, human resources management, technology development, and procurement. Ito nga, elements in Porter's value chain. Porter's value chain focuses on systems and how inputs, the raw materials, are changed into the outputs, the final product, purchased by consumer. Using this framework, Porter described a chain of activities common to all businesses and divided them into primary and support activities. Primary activities relate directly to the physical creation, sale, maintenance, and support of a product or services. Primary activities consist of the following. First, inbound logistics. These are all the process related to receiving, storing, and handling of raw materials and how you get raw materials into the organization. Supplier relationship are the key factor in creating value here. Second, operation. These are the transformation activities change in inputs to outputs that are sold to customers. Here, your operational system create value. Third, outbound logistic is the collecting, storing, distribution of goods, and how you deliver your products or services to the customers. Fourth, marketing and sales. These are the process you use to persuade clients to purchase from you instead of your competitors. The benefits you offer and how you will communicate them are sources of value here. Last, service. These are the activities relate maintaining the value of your product or services to customers once it be purchased, such as installation, training, and repair. Support activities. These activities support the primary functions above. In our diagram, the dotted line shows that each support or secondary activity can play a role in each primary activity. For example, procurement supports operations with certain activities, but it also supports marketing and sales with other activities. Support activities consist of the following: procurement or purchasing. This is what organization does to get the resources it needs to operate. This includes finding vendor and negotiating the best prices. Next is human resource management. This is how well a company recruits, hires, trains, motivates, rewards, and retain its workers. People are significant source of value, so business can create a clear advantage with good HR practices. Technological development. These activities relate to managing and processing information, as well as protecting company's knowledge base. Minimizing information technology costs, staying current with technological advances, and maintaining technical excellence are source of value creation. The last is infrastructure. These are the company's support system and the function that allow to maintain the daily operation. Accounting, legal, administrative, and general management are the example of necessary infrastructure that business can be used to their advantage. This Porter's value chain help increase business efficiency, so the business can deliver the most value for the least possible cost. And the end goal of a value chain is to create a competitive advantage for the company. And that's my topics, and bye guys.
Hi guys, welcome to my platform. I'm Stevestar, but you can call me Steve or Stevestar, whatever you want. So Today I'll be talking about a certain topic, but before I proceed with my topic and discuss, I want to share with you a quote that I've heard from a social media, which later on I'll be connecting it with my topic. So, all men dream but not equal. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake up and realize that all of us are all in vain. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes, just to realize that they can make their dreams come true with their eyes wide awake. So that's a quote that I want to share with you, and I speak of this because some of us, we make leap by just imagination, and most of us makes a leap by circumstances. And as I go through with this video, I'll elaborate why I shared that quote or connect that quote with my topic. So now I'll be proceeding with my topic. So my topic is value chain management and mapping. So specifically, I'll be talking about Porter's value chain. And if you're asking what value chain is, it is a chain of activities that is responsible for creating value for the end customers, and it is the chain that adds value to a raw material to the end product that the customers are going to consume. To make more sense of this, let's consider a chef cooking a meal. They can sell that meal for more than the cost of the raw ingredients. Why? Because by cooking the meal, the chef created something more valuable than just the ingredients alone. Now, using the business language, we can say that the chef has added value and critical factor in restaurant success in maximizing the price difference between the sales price of their output, meaning the food, and costs incurred in creating that output. Even if the example is simple, all businesses, no matter how complex it is, they should behave in a similar way. They must produce, or they must create a lot of inputs and produce outputs. The gap between value created and cost of creating that output is known as your margin. Now, if you understand what margin is, then the other way to define value chain is being the set of all activities performed in an organization to create value and create margin for its customers. The purpose of value chain is to help you understand the activities within your business that creates value or create margin. Once you understand this, you can then move on in your value creation areas and eliminate unnecessary business activities that aren't adding any value or any margin. And by doing this, you'll improve your competitive advantage and increase your margin. So Michael Porter, a Harvard Business School professor, was able to design a generic chain of activities or generic value chain, which you can see here, which is common to all businesses. And broadly speaking, the diagram is broken down into two categories. So first, we have the primary activities that directly develops your inputs into outputs. And for example, inbound logistics happen to before outbound logistics. And secondly, we have support activities. This helps out your primary activities to run more smoothly. So, So first, primary activities. Now, each of your primary activities will directly relate to creation of your products or services. First, we have inbound logistics, and this is the process of arranging the receipt of inputs and then storing and distributing them internally. Now we have operations. So once inbound logistics have moved the goods to the right locations, operations turn your inputs into outputs. Next, we have outbound logistics. In this stage, this delivers your products to your customers once the operations have produced it. Now, for physical products, this may mean that you have dispatched your product immediately or store it for a period of time. Next, we have marketing and sales. Just because you have created a product, it doesn't mean that your market knows about it or even wants to buy it. So marketing and sales are responsible for it, ensuring that your market knows about your products and wants to buy it. And there are numerous set of activities involved in this step, like advertising, setting your prices, channeling your selection of partnerships, and managing your sales pipeline. Finally, we have services, and these activities are those that occur after you have made the sale, and their purpose is to maintain or grow your product or service value for after you have sold it. So this can include things like customer service activities to reduce the runs of the customers, and activities that grow or maintain engagement with your product. So the first activity or the first supporting activity is procurement. Now this is the process of purchasing the inputs you need, and it's also known as the purchasing, and involves finding new suppliers and negotiating the best prices for your company. Next, we have human resource management. This activity involves hiring, training, rewarding the well-being of your employees, and retaining good employees. Now, in today's knowledge, finding and retaining talented employees can be a significant source of competitive advantage, which is why many companies have their own talent management departments. Next category is technology development, and this refers to any technology needed to support turning your inputs into outputs. Technology developments include software, hardwares, infrastructure, and procedures that used to create your outputs. Now, one thing to note here is it also includes your research and development department. So finally, we have firm infrastructure, and this catches all activities functions that supports the entire value chain. And note that this infrastructure is the only support activity in the diagram that doesn't have any dotted lines in the diagram. So it indicates that it truly supports all primary activities equally. Now, sub-activities here includes general management, financial, and your legal team. One thing to realize is that the support activities are just as important as the primary activities. They just provide different types of advantage. So primary activities are source of cost advantage, whereas support activities such as general management or research and development are the source of different advantage. Now, mapping and using Porter's value chain isn't quick and easy, and it's going to require a lot of deep thought. But if you want to generate your own value chain, the first thing you need to do is to map map out your sub activities. So for all primary and support activities, write down all the processes, all activities that creates value. So now, each organization is unique. So no two value chains should look the same. Once you've completed this step, you'll have a value chain diagram showing the essentials value creating parts of your business. And now the next step is to analyze the sub activities. Here, you analyze all the activities you have written in the diagram and think about whether each activity carried out provides more value or creates more margin than it costs. If some activities can create more value and just keeps adding costs to your organization or your company, consider changing or discontinuing these activities. And by performing this step regularly and making adjustments to your business or your organization, you will continually grow your margin and the value you provide for your customers. The final step is to examine the linkages. Now, the value chain of organization isn't just a collection of independent activities. It's actually a collection of interdependent activities related by links or linkages, and a change within one activity will impact another activities or other activities. So, for example, let's say I identified a link between recruiting sales, so that the better salesperson or the better sales people I hire, the more people or the more products I sell. Now, these links can be more important or can be important, and because links are so important, coordination and communication between activities are just as important as the activities themselves. And this means that optimizing your links is just as important as optimizing the activities themselves that create your margin. Now, the value chain is a powerful strategic tool, and you can use this for more than just understanding and creating of how your organization generate value. This includes things like creating a target, operating model, so you can use it to design how and where you would like to generate or create value in the future. So you might not be there yet, but your target operating model can act as a blueprint of where you want to get to, where you want your destination to be. So the bottom line of my topic is that the primary activities within Michael Porter's value chain are used to provide companies with a competitive advantage in any one of the 5 activities. So it has an advantage in the industry in which it operates. In general, the analysis was meant for companies that manufacture goods, but almost any companies can use the value chain analysis laid out by Porter, even if they don't have all the components. Moving on with my talk and the quote that I've shared earlier, here in our country, our leaders meet on an occasion called the State of the Nation's Address. We've been following it so attentive that some of us even went to the occasion themselves to actually be an active citizens and hold our leaders accountable to the promises they made. So this kind of event is one of the longest red carpet in the country. So these leaders has one outfit a year and had to get designers to transform. If we are going to think about it, just pay attention to the amount of budgets allocated towards transformation, which will sums up my talk today. The power of value chain. When you listen to some of these amazing allocations of budgets that are made into the arts, that are made into the infrastructures, I just want to ask a question. Who really got empowered if the funding is allocated in the basis of transformation? We're talking about value chain. We don't own the type of equipments or infrastructures that says transformation budget or whatever we allocated on towards transformation went and benefited everyone who's working in it or who's working for it. But the truth is, if we are going to speak on transformation, if we're trying or if we're going to reimagine ourselves being the drivers of this economy, we have to start owning the value chain. Until we own the value chain, we are nothing but a great number or a statistic that is adding up to buying and not producing. The very same people who's in the front end making this amazing leap, we have the same common struggles, but yet we still benefit the least in the value chain. Yet we are the one who's driving this economy. So part of my question, how many of us will consume a product or take something from a store and ask ourselves how many people benefited in producing this item? When we use words such as transformation, we can all be here participating as active citizens, be happy to live in a democratic country. But the truth to the matter is, transformation, we're still at the tip of an iceberg. if we don't challenge our policies, if we don't engage our leaders on the policy making discussions, if we don't participate at that level, then we are just going to increase the level of poverty instead of wealth. We are going to find ourselves making the same statements that increase poverty. This isn't just a story. This is what's happening in reality, and it exists, which we need to go and apply to ourselves and be a better generation than we cause. Apply what we hear and make sure that we are part of a solution. If we don't understand the power of value chain and don't question who owns who, we are forever going to empower the back end. If I do not understand for me to be a beneficiary of living in this democratic country and I misuse the privilege of living today, it will be an insult for those people who sacrifice their time and effort to put Philippines in the position that we are in today. Question the value chain. You will transform not just the people around you, but you'll be able to transform the entire country. This value chain isn't the one that is applied in the business industry, but I can say that this is what's happening in the background that people can't see. So that's all for my talk today, and thank you for listening. Stay happy and healthy, everyone.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and this is Dane. And for today's episode, welcome to my channel. This is Dane, and for today's episode, I'll be doing a Q&A vlog with my very special guest, Mr. Vincent Sison. So we chose questions that are frequently asked by many students regarding the topic of pressures for cost reductions and local responsiveness and locality. At dahil nga po limited lang ang aking kaalaman, nagtawag ako ng isang tao na magdi-discuss sa inyo about the locality. So, but before that, let me introduce to you the pressures for cost reductions and local responsiveness. So, these two types of competitive pressure ay nararanasan ng maraming firms, especially when it comes to global marketplace. And with that, sobrang daming demand ang nangyayari sa mga firms. Question number 1. What is cost reduction? Cost reduction is a process used by many companies or firms to reduce their cost and increase their profit. So maraming technique ang ginagamit ng mga firms at ng mga companies to reduce their cost. Meron tayong 4 major kung paano nila nababawasan yung cost nila. So 1 is the value analysis, 2nd is time and motion study, 3rd is the standardization, and lastly, the simplification. So, isa pang tanong ng karamihang sa mga estudyante regarding this topic is how can firms try to reduce their cost? So, una dyan is yung mass producing, standardization in an optical location, and second, outsourcing to low-cost suppliers. So, sa outsourcing to low-cost suppliers, syempre maghahanap ka ng mga suppliers na mababa ang bigayan ng mga raw materials. Sino ba ang gugustuhin na may mataas silang pinagkukunan tapos mababa mo lang ibebenta sa marketplace? Eh di nalugi ka. One of the reasons kung bakit ba nagnenegosyo ang isang tao is because of the profit. So, syempre, to be competitive to others, syempre hindi mo naman maiwasan yung mga competitors mo. Maghahanap ka ngayon ng mga suppliers na mababa ang bigayan ng raw materials. And some of companies, most of the companies ay ito yung ginagawa to reduce their cost. Question ng mga estudyante about this regarding pa rin sa topic na to is cost reduction pressures are greatest when? Kailan daw yung pressure ng cost reduction ay mataas? Meron tayong 4 major reasons kung saang aspect siya na tumataas yung pressure. First is a commodity type product is a universal need. One of the greatest example for that is the oil, which is kailangan talaga natin sa pang-araw-araw ng pamumuhay natin because of the transportation, because of many uses of oil to us. The second one is the major competitors are located in low-cost locations. One of the great example for this is China. Did you know that China ay tinagurian siyang manufacturing powerhouse? Kasi sila yung may pinakamababang manufacturer sa buong mundo. So, ang China po ay for more than a decade, sila po ay tinagurian ng cheaper manufacturer. Paano nila yung nasusustain? It's because of their low wages. Mababa po yung pasahod nila sa mga trabahador nila. And one of that factor, and because of that factor, nare-reduce nila yung cost nila sa mga ginagawa nilang products and services. And there is constant excess capacity. And lastly, consumers are powerful and face low switching cost. So, pupunta naman tayo ngayon sa topic na local responsiveness. So, isa sa mga katanungan ng estudyante is what is local responsiveness? Local responsiveness is the degree to which the company must customize their products and methods to meet conditions in other countries. Or in other words, when a firm needs to differentiate their products and marketing strategy in each country. So, katulad nga ng mga tanong ninyo about the pressures for cost reductions, meron ding iilang estudyante ang nagtatanong about the pressures for local responsiveness, kung kailan ba tumataas. So, katulad nga sa cost reduction, meron rin tayong 4 major aspects kung paano ba natin malalaman na yung pressures for local responsiveness ay mataas na. So, una na dyan is yung differences in consumer tastes and preferences. Alam naman natin, ang iba't ibang tao, meron yung mga iba't ibang taste, iba't ibang preference, iba't ibang beliefs, traditions, when it comes to purchasing a product or services. Maaaring kumakain siya ng baboy, pero ikaw hindi ka kumakain ng baboy dahil Muslim ka. Dito papasok yung pressure ng local responsiveness kasi meron tayong iba't ibang paniniwala about the products and services. Pangalawa, yung differences in infrastructure and traditional practices. Yung traditional practices are occurring all over the nation. So, yung mga traditions na iba't ibang bansa, nakakadagdag siya sa pressure ng local responsiveness. Kasi syempre, kapag pumasok ka sa ibang bansa, iba yung paniniwala nila, iba yung tradition nila sa pinapaniwalaan mo at sa nakagisnan mo ng tradition. Oh my God! Wow! The differences in distribution channels. So, kapag nga naman meron tayong mga distribution channels, iba-iba, naaapektuhan yung local responsiveness natin, which is tumataas yung pressure for the local responsiveness because of maaaring maka-apekto yun sa consumer welfare, and it may also affect the price and the quality of a product or services that you may offer to the marketplace. And lastly, pressures for local responsiveness are greatest when the host government demands. So, alam naman natin na each country meron tayong sinusunod na policies and conditions regarding sa mga products and services in and out in our country. So, syempre ang government, tinitiyak lang naman po nila na nasa mabuting kamay or nakakatanggap pa rin tayo ng tamang produkto at serbisyo. One of the example for that is yung mga gamot. Like, ngayon, meron tayong pandemic na kinakaharap. So, yung mga conditions, kailangan ma-meet kung meron mang papasok sa ating mga bakuna or kung safe ba yun para sa mga tao, especially when it comes to senior citizens. So, dun pumapasok yung host government demands. So, dun nagko-control ang government. May may isa pang tanong dito yung mga estudyante. Ano daw pa ba yung mga implications for local responsiveness? So, yung pressures for local responsiveness imply that it may not be possible for a firm to realize the full benefits from experience, curve, and location economies. And while such customization brings a benefits, it also limits a firm's ability to realize significant experience curve economies and location economy. So, in other terms, yung implications ng pressures for local responsiveness is mahirap talaga, lalo na when it comes to become a globally competitive. Kasi syempre, ang dami na nating mga in and out na tradition or paniniwala, so naaapektuhan yun at mas lalong tumataas yung pressure for local responsiveness.
My name is Vincent Sison and welcome to Dane's channel. Mamaya may mga sasagutin ako mga tanong ng mga estudyante natin na nagtatanong sila about sa localization. So, ang ating first question is, what is localization? May nakalagay ito, Kuya Vincent, what is localization? So, i-explain ko sa inyo kung ano yung localization. Basahin ko muna yung definition niya. So, localization is adaptation of a product or service to meet the needs of a particular language, culture, or desired population look and fit. So, localization, ito yung isang strategy ng isang business na maghahanap ka ng isang right place para ma-adapt mismo ng isang population yung iyong ilalunch mong product. Na for example is, kung ang product mo ay ice cream, syempre mas adaptable siya sa mga lugar na may init, like for sa mga beach, sa mga summer festival or amusement park. So next question that is localization. Next question tayo. Alagay naman, Mr. Vincent, can you give us the Gary! Mr. Vincent, pakibigyan naman po yung benefits ng localization. So, sa localization, ito yung mga benefits niya. Unang-una, build credibility, increase sales kasi nga, di ba? Pagka nalagay mo yung business mo sa tamang lugar, syempre mas papatok siya, di ba? Tapos yung next is build loyalty among existing customers. Syempre, once na nalaman ng population na doon ka nakapwesto at tugmang-tugma dun sa lugar nila kung ano yung binibenta mo, syempre, magkakaroon sila ng magiging loyal yung mga customers mo sa'yo. Syempre, babalik-balikan ka nila kasi nga yung gusto nila ay nakukuha nila dun sa business mo. So, next is manage cultural sensitivity, gain competitive advantage. Yan yung pinakamagandang benefits ng localization. Syempre, kasi nga, diba, kapag gagawa ka ng business, dapat nabibigay mo yung satisfaction and needs ng isang customer mo para mas makakuha mo sila, mas matalo mo yung competitors mo sa sales at saka sa popularity na rin ng audiences. Last is yung strengthen global presence. So, parang kapareho lang nung gain competitive advantage. Syempre, kapag mas malaki yung sales mo, mas marami kang customer, syempre, mas makikilala yung business mo sa audience mo na katulad ngayon na ang gamit na lang ng pag-advertise ng mga businesses yung Facebook. Syempre, mas i-spread siya sa global natin. Syempre, mas dadayuhin o papatukin ng mga customers. Meron dito, Kuya Vincent, pwede ba kayo magbigay ng examples ng localization para mas ma-elaborate? Pwede naman. So ito, papakita ko sa inyo yung examples, i-explain ko rin kung bakit ito yung best example na naibigay sa atin. So ito, ang ating unang example, si McDonald. Alam niyo na ba na si McDonald ay nag-ooperate ng 30,000 restaurant sa 100 bansa? Sabi ko, oh my God! Wow! Sabihin, sikat talaga itong McDonald na to. Ang example, kaya kinuha ko itong example bilang example sa natin sa localization kasi yung McDonald may ginawa siya sa isang bansa na sa McDonald's sa India, kasi karamihan ng mga tao sa India is vegetarian. So, meaning hindi sila kumakain ng beef or pork. Karamihan sa kanila kinakain gulay. So, si McDo, ang ginawa niya is yung mga sinuserve nilang mga pagkain doon is hindi nagko-consist ng mga meat ng beef or pork para mas marami yung customer nila. So, next example is yung, alam nyo ba yung film na Inside Out na gawa ng Pixar? Ito yun. So, yung Pixar, ginawa niya, example ito, yung yung banner nila, may kita nyo naman yung language, magkaiba. So, yung ginawa nila, parang nag-adjust sila para mas maintindihan ng mga tao yung poster nila. Tapos meron din syempre yung subtitle and voice actors din. Meron din silang mga iba't ibang language na ginamit. Pero yung ito ang magandang ginawa ng Pixar dito. Nag-effort sila na gumawa ng isang animation na gumawa sila ng multiple version ng isang scene na yung isang character dyan sa Inside Out meron siyang binabasang sign na parang sa sa sign sa lugar kung saan pupunta. Ngayon, ang ginawa ng Pixar, gumawa siya ng multiple version nun para mailagay sa mga language na mababagay doon para mas maintindihan ng mga nanonood. Next natin is si kilala nyo to, FB. Ang ginawang diskarte naman ni FB para sa localization is pwede mo palitan yung language. Siyempre, para yung mga ibang tao rin sa ibang bansa like China, Korea, siyempre magkakaiba ng lingwa. Meron na nga rin di ba tayong Tagalog, may Visaya, para mas makagamit yung ibang tao, mas madali yan sila sa paggamit ng FB. Yung ginawa nilang diskarte kung paano mapalitan yung language sa platform nila. Ayan, yung mga example ng mga language na pwede mong palitan. So, ayun lang. Salamat.
Bye, have a great time.
Yo! What is up, guys? My name is Vincent, Vincent, no? Welcome to my guys, no? I am the third vlogger, or I am the next vlogger for this module, the module 5, no? Ang topic ng module 5 namin is strategies and structures of international businesses, no? Alam nyo naman yun kanina kasi sinabi na yun ng unang reporter. Inulit ko lang para may ma-intro ko, no? Pasensya na kayo, no? Next, bakit nga ba mahalaga na malaman natin yung strategies and structures ng international businesses? Una, kasi as an entrepreneur, gusto natin ng learnings, no? Gusto nating matuto kung paano ba nila ginagawa yun. Kasi, for example, paano ba nagfa-function yung Jollibee, no? Internationally, paano ba sila kumikita? Ano ba yung mga major adjustments na ginagawa nila para, alam mo yun, tanggapin yung product na sinaserve nila sa ibang bansa, sa ibang country. At isa pa is, as an entrepreneur, napakalaking privilege, no? Napakalaking achievement na makita mo na yung business mo nag-grow, hindi lang locally but internationally, no? So, ang topic ko is about international strategy. So, dito, aalamin natin kung ano ba yung mga techniques, tactics ng mga businesses, kaya sila nakakalating sa ibang bansa or kaya nagpa-function yung business nila sa ibang lugar or ibang countries, no? Una, may topic is international strategies. Pag sinabi nating international strategies, ano bang unang pumapasok sa isipan natin, no? Strategies, unang basa ko dito, no, wala talaga ako maintindihan. Pero nung binasa ko siya ulit, excuse me, sinapuso ko yung bawat detalye nung module na ito. Grabe ang learnings ko. Natutunan ko kung paano ba nila ginagawa at paano nila napapasok yung international market, no. Ngayon, meron na ako natutunan. Ang strategies, pag sinabi nating strategies, ito yung tactics, no, na ginagamit natin, hindi lang ng mga businessman, kundi ng individual person, no. Kasi sabi nga dito sa may term nga tayo, 'di ba? Pagiging madiskarte. no? Kanya-kanyang diskarte lang yan kung paano ka uusad sa buhay, kung paano ka giginhawa, no? Kung hindi man maginhawa yung buhay mo ngayon, kanya-kanyang diskarte lang. So, international strategies, no? International strategies is a business or strategies created by company to do its business in international market. An international strategies through which the firm sells its good or services outside the domestic market. So dito na pumapasok yung international strategies. Pag yung business mo is nagfa-function na at fully na kumikita na sa ibang lugar or ibang countries. Siguro yung example nito is yung Jollibee, no? And McDonald's, 'di ba? Maraming McDonald's dito. Marami silang branches dito at gawa silang ibang bansa. Pero isa siya sa example ng isang international businesses. Yun yung at isa pa example is international strategies. Ito yung pamamaraan ng mga businesses. Kung paano ba nila napagbo-boom yung business nila sa ibang bansa. So, meron ditong 4 na basic benefits yung paggamit ng international strategies. Number 1 is increasing market size. No, pag increasing market size, siguro ito yung lumalaki yung scope mo, no? Syempre nga naman, kapag locally ka lang nagbebenta, limited lang. Hindi naman siya ganun kakonte, but limited lang yung pwede mong pagbentahan, no? Yung buong Pilipinas lang. Isipin mo, buong Pilipinas lang yung pinagbebentahan mo. And as an entrepreneur, ayaw mo na nalilimit ka. Ayaw natin na meron tayong limitasyon, no? Kaya, ang nagbe-benefit siya talaga kasi lumalaki yung scope, lumalaki yung market na pwede mong pagbentahan. And B is greater returns on major capital investments or investment in new products and processes. Excuse me. So, greater returns, no? Alam naman natin na lahat ng bagay merong positive at negative na epekto. Greater return siya pero high risk, no? Kasi kapag sinabi nating international, wala kang kasiguraduhan. Kung hindi mo talaga siya inaral, wala kang kasiguraduhan kung yung business mo talaga is mag-work. Kasi hindi naman kapag pinasok mo yung business mo sa international, agad-agad magbo-boom yan eh. Syempre merong failures. Oo, malaki yung return niya. Kasi nga, kapag naibenta mo siya international, lalaki yung profit mo, lalaki yung income mo, at syempre, mas tataas o mas makikilala yung business mo, mas mamarket siya. But, yung risk niya is worth it ba? Talaga yung risk niya, no? Kailangan din na talagang pag-isipan ng mga entrepreneurs or mga businessman yun, no? Kung worth it ba yung risk na yun para sa high return. Pero as an entrepreneur, di ba, mga risk taker nga tayo, di ba? Sinabi nga nun dati. So, next is C, the greater economics of scale, scope, and learning. So, malaki yung economies at malaki yung scope at learning. Syempre, sa bawat experience, no? Sa bawat galaw natin, meron tayong natututunan. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko dun sa una, merong failure, ay merong positive and negative. Pwede kang mag-failure ka, and sa failure na yun, learnings na yun, no? Siguro wag mo nang ulitin yung pagkakamaling nagawa mo or yung strategies na nagawa mo na pagkakamali doon. At i-akma mo siya dun sa mismong susunod mong gagawin or sa susunod na strategies. Excuse me. Next is the competitive advantage through location. For example, access to low-cost labor, critical resources, or customers, no? Best example niyan is yung mga product made in China. No, bakit ba karamihan ng mga mobile phones, no, is made in China? Una, kasi yung labor nila is mababa. Based on my research, mababa yung labor nila kumpara sa ibang countries, no? Pag Asia, mababa talaga labor. Next is yung technologies na pino-provide nila. Although pag sinabi natin dito sa Pilipinas na pag made in China, madaling masira, but pinagkakatiwalaan sila kasi dun sa hindi sa quality, but dun sa low cost na pino-provide nila, but pero nakakapag-provide sila ng products. Next is the... Musta ka dyan? Nagre-report ako, di ba? Pag ako pinagalitan dito ni sir. Umalis ka dyan. Sorry po, sorry. No? Next topic is the multinational corporation. It's all about... pag sinabi nating multinational corporation, ito yung firm that has operate in not one only country, no? Hindi lang siya nag-ooperate sa isang country. Nadidistract ako, umayos ka, sasapakin kita. Hindi lang siya nagpa-function sa isang country, no? For example, Walmart annual worldwide sales are larger than the dollar value of the entire economies of Australia, Norway, and Saudi Arabia, no? Ang Walmart, no? Kilala na ang Walmart kasi meron silang 1,730 as of mid-2011 na stores. Sa Central America, meron silang 549. Sa Brazil, meron silang 479. Sa Japan, merong 411. So, sa makatotal, napakalaki ng Walmart, no? Like Kia, isa pa yon, Kia Motors, malaki din. Malaking business din siya. Hindi lang siya nagpa-function sa isang business. Sa isang country rather, I'm sorry. No, didistract kasi ako dito sa kambal ko, sorry. So yun, so dumako naman tayo sa yung 3 main international strategies na available, no? Una is yung meron tatlo. Yung multi-domestic, the global and transitional, no? I-discuss ko ngayon is yung multi-domestic strategies. So, multi-domestic strategies, a firm using multi-domestic strategies sacrifices efficiency in favors of emphasizing responsiveness to local requirements within each of the markets, rather than trying to force all its American-made shows on interviews around the globe. MTV customized the programming that is shown on its channel within dozens of countries, including New Zealand, Portugal, Pakistan, and India. So, multi-domestic strategies. So, nung sinearch ko siya sa Google, kasi medyo malabo yung explanation dito, hindi ko siya ma-gets gaano. Pero ang pagkakaintindi ko dito is yung ang multi-domestic strategies is yung parang inaangkop niya yung product mo para maging suitable siya dun sa country na kinabibilangan mo. For example, dito is yung H&J Heinz. Ayun nga yung binigay na example, no? So, yung India ata yun. Ayaw nila ng garlic, no? Kaya, gumawa sila or inadapt nila yung product na yun. Inadapt nila yung product na yun by anong tawag dito? Anong term yun? Yung para maging angkop sa iba't ibang klase ng bansa, para maging alam mo yun, para maging mabenta siya sa ibang bansa. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng ipilit mo yung product na nagfa-function sa, for example, yung product mo is nagfa-function sa USA ng maganda, hindi mo siya pwedeng ipilit sa ibang countries wherein merong mga bawal na or mga hindi sila kinakain na bagay, no? So, yung global and transitional is ire-report ni Nico Senillo.
So, nagbabalik na naman ako. So, hello guys, kung napanood nyo yung vlog ni Laguitan, ito yung kadugtong ng kanyang ni-report. And like what I did earlier, katulad lang to nung kaninang ginawa ko na educational vlog. So, tara, let's start. Mga idolo! Meron tayong 2 topics for today. Ito yung global strategy and transnational strategy. So, let's start. So, first, ano nga ba ang global strategy? Ang global strategy, ito ang ginagamit ng mga company na gustong mag-compete and mag-expand ng kanilang market globally. In other words, ginagamit ito ng mga businesses kapag ang target talaga nila ay ang mag-expand internationally. Ini-aim ng mga company na mag-increase ang sales of goods or services abroad. When a company pursue a global strategy, It needs to determine whether its strategy is international, multinational, transnational, or global. Kapag ang isang company ay pumupursue na gawin ang global strategy, it needs to define it properly. Ano nga ba ang meaning ng apat na yan? Ng international, transnational, global, and multinational company. Ang international company, sila yung nag-i-imports and exports. In other words, it sells to customer abroad and has foreign suppliers. Ang multinational company naman, unlike international, sila yung may investments abroad. It has business staff and premises in other countries. It does not have coordinated product offerings. A global company has investments and is present in other countries. It markets its goods through the use of an identical coordinated image in every market. And merong isang corporate office na responsible for worldwide strategy. Ito ay ang transnational company. Ang transnational company ay nag-ooperate sa iba't ibang countries. It has investments in operations both at home and abroad. The directors of each individual market are also the region's decision makers. Dahil natakil na natin yung about kay transnational, i-proceed na natin yung next topic natin, ang transnational strategy. Ano nga ba ang transnational strategy? Ang strategy na ito ay inaangkop nila yung product base sa places at mismong product nila. Example, most of offerings at McDonald's sa India ay different from McDonald's sa Singapore and even more different from McDonald's in China. And yet, why everything about their food, their ambience, and their promises to you feels exactly the same? These are some characteristics of a transnational strategy. Yun, natatapos na naman tayo. Sana may natutunan kayo sa aking educational vlog. And I hope na magkaroon pa tayo ng maraming pag-uusapan na topics. Hanggang sa muli, mga idola!
Yo, what's up? Hello vlog. So, as you all know, kagrupo ko yung kakambal ko at gamit niya ngayon yung camera ko at yung laptop. So, I have no choice. Siguro ipe-present ko na lang is informative vlogging since vlogging naman yung theme natin kung saan magpe-present ako ng mga slides kagaya nito and then explain ko siya one by one. Pero bago ang lahat, dahil naiinis ako sa kapatid ko, sa kakambal ko, guluhin muna natin siya habang siya ay nagpe-present para mapagalitan siya, no? So, let's go! Dun sa, hindi sa quality, but dun sa low cost na pre-provide nila, but pero nakakapag-provide sila ng
So, what is up, guys?
products. Next is, mulis ka nga dyan, nagre-report ako, di ba? Pag ako pinagalitan dito ni sir, umalis ka dyan. Sorry po, sorry. No? Next topic is the multi-operation. Ito yung fear one only country. No? Hindi lang siya nag-ooperate sa isang country. Nadidistract ako, umayos ka, sasapakin kita. Hindi lang siya nagpa-function sa are larger than the dollar value of the entire economy. Peace! So, first, i-define muna natin kung ano ba yung strategic alliance, no? A strategic alliance is a partnership between two organizations where both parties are able to derive value from the engagement. It is an arrangement between two companies to undertake mutually beneficial project, while each retain its independence. You would start a strategic alliance when you are enabled to achieve result on your own, or when strategic alliance will dramatically improve the time to result. Another definition is a strategic alliance is business in relationship between two or more businesses that enables each or achievement certain strategic objectives neither would be able to achieve on their own. So basically, ang strategic alliance, ito lang yung pagtutulungan ng mga companies para mabuo yung certain goal nila or ma-achieve yung certain goal. Kasi meron, aminin na natin na hindi naman lahat ng goals natin is ma-achieve natin ng mag-isa lang. So next is the type of strategic alliance. So meron 3 types of strategic alliance. So number 1 is joint venture. A joint venture is a business arrangement in which 2 or more parties agreed to pool their resources for the purpose of completing a specific task. This task can be new project or other businesses activities. In joint venture, each of participant is responsible for profit, losses, and costs associated it. However, the venture is own entity, separate from the participants' other business interest. So, pag sinabi nating joint business, is ito yung business na create ng dalawang business. So, para mas maging malinaw, ang example, halimbawa, si Company A at Company B is nag-decide sila na magkaroon ng joint venture. So, ang magiging tawag sa kanila is a parent company. So, ang makikreate nilang company is matatawag nating child company, which is Company C. Ito yung pinagsamang resources nilang pareho. So, paano ang hatian nito? This is a 50-50 percentage sa profit, sa losses, and sa causes. So, next is the equity strategic alliance. So, equity strategic alliance, medyo pumipiyok pa. An alliance in which 2 or more firms own different percentage of a company. They have formed by combining some of their resources and capabilities to create a competitive advantage. An equity strategic alliance is created when one company purchases a certain equity percentage of the other company. If a company purchases 40% of equity in a company B, an equity strategic alliance would be formed. So, ito naman is kapag kagaya nga na example, kapag bumili yung company A ng kahit 1/4 ng company B is magiging equity strategic alliance na sila. Kumbaga, ang pinaghahatian na nila dito is yung parte nung company. Kasi 'di ba, yung company na-divide siya once na bumibili ka ng percentage dun sa company. So, anong pinagkaiba niya sa joint venture, no? Ang joint venture is pinagkasunduan ng dalawang company na 50-50 ang magiging hati nila. While sa equity strategic alliance, although pinagkasunduan nila, pero yung percentage is pwedeng mas mababa, pwedeng mas mataas na hatian. Next is non-equity strategic alliance. A non-equity strategic alliance is created when 2 or more companies signed a contractual relationship to pool their resources and capabilities together. It is an alliance in which 2 or more firms develop a contractual relationship to each some of their unique resources and capabilities to create a competitive advantage. No, basically ang non-equity strategic alliance is ito yung pinagsasama nila yung mga resources nila. Tapos, tutulungan nila yung isa't isa. Kumbaga, sa term natin sa economics is parang trading or palitan ng products mo. Kumbaga, halimbawa, yung products ko or your resources ko is makakatulong sa'yo. And on the other side, or on the other hand, is tutulungan mo din ako na maiangat yung company ko or yung business ko using your own resources, no? So, next is key issues and success factors of implementation and strategic alliance. So, dito na papasok yung mga issues, positive, negative, na magbibring sa success or downfall ng business based dun sa alliance na napili nila. So, partner selection. The success of any cooperative undertaking depends on choosing the appropriate partners. Siyempre, pag sinabi nating alliance, meron ka dapat pinipiling partners. At kapag pumipili ka ng partners, is hindi dapat kung sino lang yung makita mo. Ayan, halimbawa ikaw, gusto kita maging partner na kita ngayon. Hindi ganon. Ang dapat na meron siyang step na sinusundan. Unang step is compatibility. Kung yung business ba or partner na napili mo is compatible dun sa business mo. Alangan namang ang partner na kukunin mo. For example lang ang business mo is Jollibee, tapos kukuha ka ng alliance mo, which is yung business is all about car wash, 'di ba? Ang layo. So, syempre, kung Jollibee ka, kukuha ka ng alliance kung saan yung mga poultry shop, 'di ba? Mga poultry makapagpo-provide sa'yo ng chicken para more joy sa chicken mo, 'di ba? Number 2 is the nature of potential partners, products, or services. So, kagaya nga nung sinabi ko kanina, yung nurture of potential partners and products and services. So, yung pinagmumulan nung mismong business mo at business niya. Kung mag-benefit ba kayo or beneficial ba sa isa't isa. Number 3, the relative safeness of the alliance and the learning potential of the alliance. So, kung isa pa daw dito is yung safeness. Kung ligtas ba yung business mo kapag nakipag-partners ka sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, worth it ba yung partnership na mangyayari. Tapos yung potential o learning potential dun sa alliance. Kung meron ka bang makukuhang learnings or matututunan para ma-improve mo yung business mo. Syempre, hindi ka naman kukuha ng partners para lang matulungan ka sa business eh. Syempre, kukuha ng partners para meron kang matutunan sa kanya. Tapos yung matututunan mo is pwede mong i-adapt sa business mo, 'di ba? Ganun lang kasimple. So, next is joint venture. A joint venture almost always takes the form of corporation, usually incorporate in the countries in which it will be doing business. The corporate firm enables the partners to arrange a beneficial tax structure, implement novel ownership arrangement, and better protects their asset. It allows joint ventures to create its own identity apart from those of the partners. Further issue and questions are associated with how a strategic alliance will be managed. 3 standards approach are often used to jointly manage a strategic alliance. Number 1 is shared management agreement, assigned arrangement, and delegate arrangement. So, under the approach to joint management, under the shared management agreement, each partner fully and actively participate in managing the alliance. The partner runs the alliance and their managers regularly passing instructions and detail to the alliance manager. The alliance manager have limited authority on their own and must defer decision to the manager from the parents firm. So, basically, yung manager, pareho silang present. Yung company, pareho silang present dun sa ventures na yon. Ang ginagawa nila is parang yung manager ng company A and manager ng company B is binibigyan nila ng instruction. Then, both managers is magbibigay sila ng instruction dun sa alliance manager. Na yung alliance manager is siya yung magpapatakbo ng ventures, no? Pero yung authority ng alliance manager is limited lang din kasi ang may sinusunod lang din siyang utos galing dun sa dalawang company. So, under the assigned agreement, ito na yung second part. One partner assume primary responsibility for operation of strategic alliance. So, basically, dito naman is may kanya-kanyang responsibilidad yung bawat mag-partners, no? So, halimbawa, si company A is siya yung bahala sa strategies, sa marketing. Tapos yung company B naman, siya naman yung bahala doon sa mga financials, 'di ba? So, next is the under-delegated arrangement, which is reserved for joint venture. The partner agreed not to get involved the ongoing operation and so delegate management control to the executive of the joint venture itself. So, this executive may be specifically hired to run the new operation. So, dito naman sa delegated arrangement is parang hindi nila pinapakailaman yung operation na mangyayari doon sa ventures na yon or sa company na yon. Ang gagawin nila is mag-hire sila ng mga tauhan na sila yung magpapatakbo nung company na yon. Pwedeng yung tauhan na yon is nanggaling mismo sa company A or company B. Pwedeng nanggaling mismo sa company nila pareho. Basta hindi nila papakailaman kung paano ba nag-ooperate yung business na yon. Although sa kanila mapupunta yung kita or profit. So next, further important success factors. The success of any alliance very much depend on how effective the capabilities of the involved enterprises are matched and whether the full commitment of each partners to the alliance is achieved. Some key factors that have to be considered to be able to manage the success alliance includes understanding, no time, limited alliance, good connection, creation of trust, goodwill, intense relationships. So understanding, the cooperating companies needs a clear understanding to the potential partners' resources. So una, dapat naiintindihan natin kung ano ba yung kakayahan ng partner na pipiliin natin, no? Sa una pa lang, 'di ba, dapat sinabi ko na dapat alam mo kung ano ba yung beneficial at kung ano ba yung makakatulong sa iyo na kumpanya sa pagpili ng partners para hindi mo na kailangan pang intindihin pa, no? Kasi na-research mo na alam mo na kung bakit mo siya pinili, alam mo na compatible yung business nyo or magpa-function to ng maganda. Next is no time pressure. During negotiation, time pressure must not have an influence to the outcome of the process. Managers need time to establish a work relationship with each other, develop a time plan, set milestone, and design communication channel. So, alam naman natin na joint venture nga ito, no? Meron silang kanya-kanyang kumpanya at hindi mo dapat pinipressure or parang pinapapili ba kung sino ba yung dapat unahin, kung anong company ba yung dapat unahin. So, dapat magkasundo sila. Meron silang time plan kasi napakalaga ng time plan para na ma-manage mo yung oras mo. Alam mo kung nasan ka sa ganitong lugar, alam mo kung anong dapat mong gawin sa ganitong oras, 'di ba? Kaya napakahalaga talaga ng time plan. Next is limited alliance. Some incapabilities between enterprise may not be avoided. So the numbers of alliance should be limited to the necessary amount which enable the companies to achieve their goals. Limited alliance. So, syempre hindi naman natin may iwasan yung mga incapabilities nga daw sabi dito, no? Kaya nililimit natin yung alliance na pipiliin natin, no? Dapat hindi siya ganun karami pero hindi din siya ganun kakonti. Yung sakto lang na magpa-function at mapapaganda yung business mo para ma-achieve nyo yung goal nyo pareho kasi nga joint venture show. Dapat kailangan nyo mag-work as a team, no? Para maabot nyo yung goals. Next is good connection. Negotiation need experienced manager. The manager from large firm needs to be connected very well so they have the possibilities to integrate different departments and business areas over internal borders. So, good connection. So, dapat merong maganda yung communication nyo. Pag sinabi kasi natin connection is parang yung communication nyo is tugma at kung ano yung gusto nyong gawin is talagang nagagawa nyo. Kumbaga, iisa lang yung direction na tinatahak nyo para iisa lang yung kumbaga parang iisang goal lang yung gusto nyo ma-achieve at magagawa mo yun kapag meron kayong magandang communication at maganda yung connection. So bakit sinabi na managers? Kasi nga managers ng company A, managers ng company B magpo-provide ng information. Kapag mali yung information na ibinigay niya doon or yung communication nga nila is mali, parang magkakaroon ng discrepancy, magkakaroon ng pagkakamali, no? At isa rin yun sa magiging barrier para hindi nyo ma-achieve yung goal nyo or ma-achieve yung goal ng ventures na pinagpartnersan nyo. Next is creation of trust and goodwill. The best basis of profit-yielding cooperation between enterprises is the creation of trust and goodwill. So, trust and goodwill. So, napakagandang bagay niya, no? Hindi lang sa business natin magagamit, but sa pang-araw-araw, no? Kasi kapag wala kang tiwala, sige, wag na tayo lumayo. Doon lang tayo sa business, no? Pag wala kang tiwala na mag-grow yung business mo, hindi talaga siya mag-grow. Pag wala kang tiwala dun sa partner mo or sa corporation na kinabibilangan mo, hindi siya mag-grow. Ang kailangan mo, imbis na pagdudahan mo yung business na yon or yung ventures na yon, tulungan mo kung paano sila mapapalaki, kung paano mapapaganda or ma-achieve yung goal. Kasi hindi ka pwedeng nag-aantay lang sa pagkilos ng partner mo. Dapat ikaw mismo kumikilos ka. So, intense relationship. Intensifying the partnership leads to the fact that partners get to know each other better. Each other interests and operating styles and increase trust. No, hindi ito yung relationship, no, na jojowahin mo or girlfriendin mo yung partner mo, no. Hindi ito yung intimacy no, yung infatuations. So kidding aside na, no, pag sinabi nating intense relationship, so paulit-ulit lang siya na sinasabi ko kasi yun lang talaga yung mahalaga. Dapat alam mo kung ano ba yung capabilities o kakayahan ng business na business partner na napili mo, no, kasi kapag hindi mo alam at hindi mo alam kung magbe-benefit ka ba talaga, walang patutunguhan yung partnership nyo, no. So dun lang talaga siya umiikot lahat. So yun lang po. So, yun lang overall yung report ko, no? So, ang next na magre-report or magko-continue ng report namin is si Joshua Neil Palomo or Neil Joshua Palomo. Sana may natutunan kayo. Salamat. Bye!
Risk associated with international alliances. Using and operating strategic alliances does not only bring chances and benefit, there are also risks and limitations that have to be taken in considerations. Failures are often attributed to unrealistic expectation, lack of commitment, cultural differences, strategic goal, divergence, and insufficient trust. So, the partner experiences financial difficulties, hidden costs, inefficient management, activities outside the scope of original agreement, information leakage, loss of competencies, loss of operational control, partner lock-in, partner product or service failure, partner unable or unwilling to supply key resources, partner's quality performance, partner takes advantage of its position. This is all the risks associated with international alliances. So, number one is partner experiences with financial difficulty. So, it is a given when you have a partner because not all the partner you have a financially stable. Then the hidden cost, this one is a cost imposed by a transaction or activity that is not immediately apparent simply by looking at the trade occurring. Then the inefficient management. Well, bad management practices are something that occurs when the boss loses control of how well business is being operated. This would then result in organizational inefficiency. Once a company becomes inefficient, they may be faced with disadvantage such as unhappy customers. So there's activities outside the scope of original agreement. Well, sometimes this is true. Then information leakage, where this is refers to the unintended loss of information from an organization. This usually occurs as a result of employees passing information to others, sometimes unwittingly, sometimes wittingly. Then there is loss of competencies. This is loss of operational control. Occurs when a company operating expenses exceed gross profits. These items are below the line, meaning they are added or subtracted after operating loss to arrive at net income. Then partner lock-in, partner product or service failure, partner unavailable or unwilling to supply key resources, partner quality performance, partner take advantage of its position. The advantage of strategic alliance. Well, the first one is likewise help you improve your useful limit, give a circulation framework, or broaden your store network. Your essential accomplice may give a decent or administration that supplements a decent or administration you give. In this manner, making cooperative energy on the off chance that you are generally new or untried in a specific industry, having an essential accomplice who is notable and regarded with help add authenticity and validity into your endeavor. You can decrease expenses and dangers by dispersing them across the individuals from partnership. You can likewise get more noteworthy economies of scale and collusion as creation volume can build, causing the expenses per unit to decay. At last, you and your accomplice can exploit co-specialization where your group your specialization together, making extra work. For example, when a main PC maker package its work area with a main screen, producer screen, Then you may get together with your opponents to collaborate rather than contend. You can likewise make unions to make vertical mix where your accomplices are important for your store network. Key partnerships may likewise be helpful to make an upper hand by the pooling of assets and abilities. This may likewise assist with future businesses openings and the improvement of new items and advances. Key partnerships may likewise be utilized to gain admittance to new innovation or to seek after joint innovative work. Well, lastly is the class of political benefits. Here you need to frame an essential union with a nearby and familiar business to acquire section into an unfamiliar market, either on account of neighborhood prices or legitimate obstruction to passage. Shaping vital collusions with politically powerful accomplices may likewise help to improve your own impact and position. So here is the disadvantage of international strategic alliances. Number one is sharing a profit. So sharing a profit in strategic alliances, the partner must share resources and profits and often skills and know-how. This can be critical if business secrets are included in this knowledge. Agreements can protect these secrets, but the partner might not be willing to stick to such an agreement. The number two is creating a competitor. The partner in a strategic alliance might become a competitor one day if it profited enough from the alliance and grew enough to end the partnership and then is able to operate on its own in the market segment. The number three, opportunity cost. Focusing and committing is necessary to run a strategic alliance successfully but might discourage from taking other opportunities which might be beneficial. Well, and then the next one is uneven alliances. When the decision powers are distributed or very uneven, the weaker partner might be forced to act according to the will of the more powerful partners even if it's actually not willing to do so. The next one is, for instance, confiscation. If a company is engaged in a foreign country, there is the risk that the government of this country might try to seize this local business so that the domestic company can have all the market on its own. Then the next one is risk of losing control. Over proprietary information, especially regarding complex transactions, requiring extensive coordination and intensive information sharing. Then the last one is coordination difficulties due to informal cooperation setting and highly costly dispute resolution.